Hi everybody, and it's day 2, and today we're going to be looking at the different components of the website. So what do you, a website really consists of 3 things. It is the, let me just move on. Oops, sorry. I don't when this happens. Okay, there we go. So day 2. So the different components, it's you with your website, you've got your header, you've got your footer, and then I'm also going to be just chatting a little bit about basic SEO that you need to think about before you actually build your business. So the first thing is I'm going to now stop sharing this screen and I'm going to hop into another screen where we're just going to go through the different components of your website. So another screen should be coming up. Okay, so there we go. Oops. All right, there we go. So this really here, this is a plain website. It's got absolutely nothing on it. For this 7-day challenge, this isn't where we're going to start. It's just I thought it was easier to explain the different components of your website when we have something that's clean that has nothing on it. So you can see when you come into the editor, you'll have something that is it's kind of like this dotted line over here, and then there's a dotted line at the bottom over here. Now the different components of your website is, this is what is called the header, and this is called the footer, and this is the body. Now the header and the footer stay consistent across all the pages of that layout or that website that you have. And this typically is your logo, your at the top you'll have your menus and things like that, and then at the bottom you have your legal stuff that you have to have on your website, your privacy, your GDPR statement, and that's really important if you are going to European markets. Maybe contact us information, maybe your latest blog post. There's lots of stuff that you can put into your header, and I'll be going through some examples of headers and footers and body. And then in the middle is the body. So whether that be a blog post, whether that be your about page, all of that goes in the middle, this section of your website. Because I've had some people have asked me, well, I don't want a header. You have to have a header and you have to have a footer. It's just kind of like what a web page consists of. And when you know that, you'll start seeing them in the different websites that you look for. Now, also spoke about, let me just go back, just a moment. And then of course there's different styles of websites, and I'll be going through some of the, we'll just have a look at some of the styles that you can pick that are already made for you. And I really suggest that in this 7-day challenge, you just pick one of the ones that meet your needs the best for that time, and then later on we can go in and tweak it. But when you are setting up your website, the most important thing is, the colors and things like that, because the colors have to match who your avatar is. So for instance, if your avatar is males between the ages of 50 and 70, you're not going to have a pretty pink, very feminine website. And similarly, if you had women, you wouldn't want it to be, very male oriented, like dark colors and things like that. You probably want to have it a little bit more feminine with pastel colors and curly fonts and things like that. So that's just something that you need to consider, as well as the kind of business that you're in. So if you're working with women in business, there'll be that element of masculinity to the website, rather than if you were doing something on meditation and yoga and Reiki and things like that. Your website will have a softer feel, if you could put it that way. So that's something that you need to think about when you are doing your website. The 3, what they suggest is you never have more than 3 fonts that you use on your website, and this is just for simplicity. I'm sure you've seen those websites where there's different colors and there's loads of different fonts, and colored text and flashing text and things like that. And it just really looks like a dog's breakfast. So the more elegant you want your website to be, or the cleaner you want your website to be, the longer people will actually stay on your website. So maximum 3, it would be a really fancy font, then a font that you use for all your text, which is like Helvetica is a really, really good one, Arial. There are a whole bunch of fonts that you will see that are just plain and easy to read, because that's the number one thing, is you build in your website so that people can get the information that they need in a very, very easy way. And then you have your header fonts, which can be the bolded part of that of your font, or it could also be your more fancy or your cursive font. So those are the 3 different parts. I'm going to go through some examples of some websites and explain some things to you, and then we're going to just go into some basic SEO. So say, for instance, I've got a travel website here. So you can see this on the top here, we have our header where we have our menu. I just want to take the little bookmark bar away, actually. Okay, I can't remember. Anyway, so you can see here, this over here is the header. We've got home, services, about, and the testimonials, very small, but and then we start with the body of the website. You can see, so here they have special offers, popular destinations. This is a travel one, services, about us, their testimonials, and then here at the bottom you can see what the footer looks like. So they've, in this one, they have the social media links. Next one is a totally different one again. This is a yoga one, everything we need to know. They have contact us, business hours, where they are at, and then their logo. And then if you scroll down, and then in the body they've got all their blog posts. So these aren't real websites, these are just templates. So if you go like, well, why is there just your article link goes here? That's why it is like that. They also have a sidebar. You'll see here sometimes websites have a sidebar, and a sidebar is similar to a header or a footer, is that it's on every single one of these pages. And then here at the bottom you'll see they've got a really big footer where they've got a little bit more stuff here. They've got contact us, they've got all of the stuff that they had over here. They've also put in the bottom, and then some menus and a subscription letter. They've got an additional, oh no, sorry, this is their footer down here. So that's probably their privacy and copyright statements, and then a link to all their social media platforms. So you can see this is a very different look and feel of this website to the travel and tourist one. And these are all built in Builderall, so you can surely you can definitely do all of these layouts, right? Then we have the dog. So obviously this is again a totally different feel, and you can see up here they've got your logo, the menus. This is obviously a website where you can log in, so there's restricted areas on that. And yeah, all the blog posts, gallery pictures, and down here, so here is where they have a really big footer where you can see, right? Video maker, so this one's totally different. So you can see this one is more probably, I would say, more for male, or it's not necessarily for male, but it's a more masculine website than any of the other two that we looked at. So just go down to the footer, because that's really what I want to show you. And there they have the footer, yeah, with the different social media icons. So you can see when you're setting up your website that there's just so many different options, and you kind of got to just get a feel for what you like, and then you can move on from there. So the different colors, probably three colors is more than enough. You don't want more than that. And then you can also have the font. So if you see a website, or you know that you have a website that you like, there's two different ways that you can go about finding out what the colors are on that website, and then also what the font is. So to get the colors, and I'm just going to go on to one that's not so dark, say for instance this one. There's this little extension on Chrome called eyedropper tool. And basically, if you go onto the eyedropper, you add it to Chrome. If you don't know how to add it to Chrome, please let me know, and I'll do a little bit video on it for you. And you can click pick color, and you should be able to see. Can you see over there? It kind of, as I roll my mouse across the screen, it will pick up the colors that I'm scrolling over. You've also got a you can do a web page color analyzer. I'm not going to do that now because it's quite resource heavy, but it will pick all the colors that it can find on that website. Oh, maybe I can do it. Let's just see how quickly it does it. Oh, there you go. So you can see now on the website, these are all the colors, and that includes the different grays like you see on the images and things like that. And then it will tell you what the hex value of that is. So there you go, of the RGB. So if I click on it, what it also then does for you, it puts it into your color, your browser palette. Oh no, not that. Your picked color history. So all the colors that I've used in the past are put in my history, so you can see all those. And it gives you the hex color as well as the RGB. And depending on the website, our website Builderall takes either one, so that doesn't matter. But we'll get into that later. If you want a specific color palette and a specific font, right? The other way, if you wanted to see if you want what the font is that's used, very often what you can do is you go to View Page Source, and this is going to give you the HTML version of that website. So it might look really, really scary, but don't be too concerned. You don't have to worry too much about this. But what you will do is you'll go and look for font, and it'll actually tell you what font it uses. So you can see there it uses Helvetica New Light. So that's one of the fonts. And just see font style. I suppose if we look for some font style, we wouldn't have so many. And then you can see it's PT Sans. And this is where you can actually have a look. So you'd have to look through here and you would find the font values. So that's one way that you can actually find a font of a specific website. All right, so the third thing that we want to be looking at today is a basic SEO. One of the main things that people forget about SEO is images. Now, what happens is when you download an image off of a website, or you can go to Pixabay or any of those ones, you'll see that there's actually metadata in the image. So one of the things of homework today is going to be collecting your images, but it's not just collecting them, it's actually creating, fixing up the SEO part of that image. So I'm going to quickly go down into my finders, and I'm going to just see if I can find, let me just see. I'm just going to do this one. I'm not sure what it is, but it'll be fine. And I think, let me just stop the share and make sure that I'm sharing now my whole screen. Otherwise, I don't think that you will be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go into my Finder, and I'm just grabbing this image. I don't know what it is, but I go to a right click. So I'm on a Mac. So if you're on a Mac, this is what you do. You go into Finder, right click. There will be a way in Windows that you can do it as well. Basically, you're going to go into your Explorer, and you're going to get the information on that image. If you're struggling with this, just reach out and let me know, and I will help you. So here's my image, and you'll see over here that this is where my image came from. So it came from Christina Karovic. This is what is kind of SEO. It's metadata. You can't read it as a person when you're looking at a website, but the search engines can. So there's no ways that you can remove this. So a lot of the free websites that allow you to download the images, they've actually put this in there so that they know that you're using an image from their website. And that's fine. You can leave that in for Pixabay and things like that. Just so that you know what that is. I think it's important, because sometimes people think, I'll use an image that hasn't, that's licensed. How will they know? This is how they know, because this is kind of like encoded in that actual image. So a different way, if you didn't want that there, you can actually take a screen print of your image and then go in and edit it, take off all the different parts of it so that it's just the image is there, and then you won't see anything here. But what you want to do is you want to go into here and you actually want to add tags. So say, for instance, my tag is, say, messenger marketing, internet marketing. If it's meditation, I type that in. What else could it be? So yoga, all kinds of different meta tags. And you want to add about 15 meta tags of your business. So what do you want your website to actually rank for? The other thing is add comments. So add this this image is about meditation and things like that, or about your website, because it's not necessarily going to make a huge difference to your SEO. But if all your images on your website are actually have got meta tags, they've got tags, they've got great description, the name and the extension, obviously one-to-one would be a really bad name. If this is meditation and I want to rank for meditation, then I would say woman, say for example, it was a woman meditating. I would have that. I would have a name that makes sense and it describes the picture, but at the same time, it's actually saying what that image is all about. Okay, so that's a little bit about SEO around your images that I think 99% of people are totally unaware of. So your homework for today is basically to select your image, go and gather the images that you want on your website. Decide what you want your fonts to be, and if you have no idea, don't worry. If you have a look, when we go to the pixels over here, these are all different websites that are, they look similar to these, that you can go in and select, and then you just change to make your own content. So you can go into the Pixel Perfect. So you come over here into Builderall, Builders, drag. Okay, so this, when you come to your Builderall, you'll be Builderall, Builders, you'll come here, drag and drop Pixel Perfect, and then you look at new website, and you will see all of these categories over here. So you can actually start just going through those categories, just taking a look and seeing which ones you like, because that's what we're going to start building our website on. And then you're going to have to get your content together. So what I suggest for this exercise is that you just find one that you like, one layout that you like, and don't worry too much about the different fonts and things like that, just for the time being, because you can go and change the font later. It's a little bit of work, but often what happens when you have your website, there'll always be something that you want to change, and I don't want you to get into paralysis analysis and that's all you're going to be doing. So that's it for this this day. Once again, if you've got any questions, please reach out. Let me know what your questions are. Happy to help. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow, where we really start getting into putting our website together. Alrighty, everybody. Bye for now. Let me just stop my share. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye.